Everyone, and thanks for stopping by to catch the latest updates in the Radicle Jetbrains IDE plugin. We've just released this latest version 0.3.0, and the most important note about this version is that it is an alpha version for reasons that we'll cover shortly. So you won't be able to find it in the stable channel, but that's on purpose. So that it doesn't break any existing installations with some of the alpha features included in this version. So in order to install, if you want to try this out, you should just download this directly from the JetBrains marketplace, and in your IDE, you can then just go ahead with a manual installation from disk. So after you install the plugin, we'll quickly restart the IDE for the changes to take place. And it is important to note here that this new plugin version requires the latest JetBrains IDE version, the 2022.3. One part of the work in this 0.3.0 was to support some of the big changes JetBrains has released. There are some API changes in terms of how plugins are built and some kind of breaking changes that were introduced along the way. If you've installed the latest version of the plugin, you get this new Radicle tool window that has some more information about your Radicle project, and it introduces two new tabs, one for the patches, Radicle patches, and in this one we're going to have the issues in a future release. The issues are not yet available with the current version of the CLI that we had available to work on. We'll add this after moving to hardwood, with all the changes coming from there. For now, we've been working on the kind of UI to make the patches appear inside the IDE. And if we're going kind of into the patches, so we have a list of patches here, and by double clicking, we can open this patch proposal. We can see some information here. This section isn't very well populated because of the current kind of patch implementation in the CLI. This is where you'll see all of the patch proposal kind of description and kind of all the other information that will be made available. And then, of course, when we have two more important tabs. One is the list of commits, where we can see all the commits, and for each of the commits we can see commit messages and the differences. And if we double click on one of these files, we can see the kind of detailed diff of what actually changed, and so on for all the files, and kind of navigate through the different files and see all the changes using all of the kind of really cool functionality already built into the IDE for diffs of commits. We can also see the kind of total files changed in this kind of patch proposal. And yeah, then we can go back to the list of patches, and we also have some filters. If we have a project, an IntelliJ project that where we have several Radicle projects cloned out, this is pretty common, pretty common way of organizing your workspace in JetBrains IDs. So you can pick the specific Radicle project that you want to see here, and also you can filter by the PRID for the patch proposals that you're seeing. You can also search in this bar for the information that's shown below. And when you double click again, this is when you go into the kind of patch proposal overview page. So we have two new views. one that shows the list of all patch proposals, and one the kind of overview where you see the details of the patch proposal itself. This functionality is, as you can see, it's not yet fully functional because we still need all the patch proposal information to come here, which will happen kind of on top of Heartwood, and this is what we'll be working towards in our next release. But we made all of this kind of preparatory work to add these views and these lists and all this interaction, and of course the part with the diffs and the commits that's going to stay the same even with the new patch proposals. The other major thing in this version was this support for the new UI that Jetbrains is calling this. Not very imaginative. So this new UI, once you enable it, it really, let's restart. So once we restart the ID, we have this different looking UI. I think it kind of makes IntelliJ look a bit more like VS Code, the way it groups everything here on the sides. They're using these icons now. It's different. So the work has gone into the plugin to support this new version, and we can still see the Radicle tool window here. We can also see the rad actions, rad sync, rad push, rad pull, rad clone in the drop down down here. And in general, making sure that neither the breaking changes in 2022.3 nor in this new UI are breaking the Radicle plugin, paving the way for us now that Heartwood is just around the corner to focus on Heartwood support and really start, making these actually functional and finally being able to use our IDE to really collaborate on the code changes and working on a Radicle project. But before I let you go, just to quickly mention about the kind of alpha status of the plugin that we talked about earlier. The fact that this has been released in the alpha channel. This is primarily because of the CLI tool version that we have to build upon. So the Radicle CLI tool is being moved to Heartwood, which is the new protocol in Radicle code collaboration. And since we needed to get some kind of information for the patches so we can start building this UI that shows the patch proposals and then allow us to build these lists in the meantime, we went for this approach that allowed us to switch to using the development version of the CLI, this 0.7.0 dev, just to get something going here in the UI. Well, we'll wait for this Heartwood version to come out soon. I think that's about it for today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. As always, if you have any questions or you try this out, your feedback is more than welcome. You can find us on Discord or just our GitHub repository, where you can leave us some feedback. Thanks very much for your time. Have a great day.